Welcome to episode 26 of Crypto Waffle. Topic 1 today is the bulls are back in town. Bitcoin charged past 97k and the bulls are stomping through the crypto streets. Topic 2, AI bounces hard. Our top picks for the remainder of 2025. And then topic 3, token 2049 so far. Tokens 2409 to buy, shaking up Web3, DeFi dreams, gaming gold, and regulatory real talk. So let's kick it off.
So first of all, for the eagle-eyed amongst us, you don't seem to be in the glorious United Kingdom anymore.
No,
Where are you?
currently away.
Where are you? Why are you there? And
Tell us all. I'm in the beautiful country of Indonesia, specifically Bali. Currently staying in a place called, excuse my pronunciation, Kendungu.
that must have been an interesting taxi ride when you tried to explain where you needed to go.
Well, thankfully you just do it on an app and you can like pinpoint it, and he like, yeah, perfect, he knows, and then takes you there. But yeah, no, out in Bali for 2 weeks. Only on the first full day today, so this is falling on quite the day. Or even next week, I'll still be out here and we do this on 27. We should
community down.
Crypto in
Your
UK
immediately online to give us our
so that should be very good.
or not.
Oh,
As it seems,
trying to reconnect.
the financial navigator has immediately left us.
Oh,
Out. I do think he's almost in the middle of nowhere. Let me see. Yeah, he is stuck.
my system's died. That's what I'm thinking.
Difficult. Unfortunately, financial navigator seems to have lost enough reception to respond to us.
Fuck's sake, Jess.
See, I'm just messaging in now.
Gordon bloody Bennett. Always. It's just as we start.
Gone frozen. I guess whilst we're waiting, what I can do, keep everyone entertained, is...
I'm back.
Oh, he is back.
But I think the little Wi-Fi dongle thing has just died.
What had happened?
Oh, and I'm completely gone now.
No, now he's gone. Now he's gone, absolutely. Okay, well, in the meantime, what I want to do is I'm going to make it a solo show, and we're going to discuss 2 things.
Honestly.
Very quickly. Allegedly, there was a ban on TON. So, let's see, TON Network UK ban. Right. So let's go with this. Let me get a share. This is good because it does actually jump into the specifics of it. But the TON network has not been banned in the UK. However, your Telegram network wallet will no longer work in the UK. They've stopped it. Temporary suspension. So Decrypto reported that the wallet has been suspended in the UK. This was done to comply with requirements from the FCA as the wallet operator was seeking official licensing. So they're trying to do everything legitimately, and the UK authorities are turning them down. So whilst it was temporarily disabled, the TON blockchain and its native cryptocurrency are still available for trading in the UK. So you can still trade the coin, but this particular wallet, which is buried inside of Telegram, was now no longer available to be used. And he's back.
Yes, apologies. The dongle died.
Oh, that's no good.
So I can only apologise, and I've now moved in closer to where the dongle is charging.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Well,
apologies.
I had made the executive decision to quickly discuss the TON network being banned in the UK. AI has immediately pulled me into line and said, stop sensationalizing stuff, CryptoSI. The TON network has not been banned. However, the Telegram
Oh,
wallet
fuck
has been
off,
temporarily
please.
suspended. This is while they have tried to go through, I think you've frozen again. This is while they have tried to go through the correct way to comply with the UK VAR, and they have been knocked back by the FCA.
Holy shit, man. What the fuck?
So Telegram no longer developed on, but independent groups have been developing on the Ton blockchain, including Free Ton, Beta Everscale. These groups
Unbelievable.
develop, and they are the ones that are struggling
Fuck off.
to get permission from the UK government to operate. So that is that. This is going to be very difficult without the financial navigator, because I don't want to touch on the topics that we need to touch on today. So what else have I been looking at in crypto this week? I'll tell you what else I've been looking at in crypto this week. Tornado Cash. I don't know if I'll be able to show that one. I can actually. So Tornado Cash is a well-known privacy project, which is built on Ethereum. So it's on the Ethereum rails. And recently, let me change what I'm sharing. Stop sharing. Let me share screen. Window. Telegram.
Oh, gee whiz, man.
How do I do this? I don't want to. I want to share my Telegram, but I don't want to actually share the
Says it's on.
sidebars. I don't want to share any of that. How can I do that?
Well, that's a good sign.
I'll take.
We're not connected.
I'll do it like this.
There we go. Are we away?
So I say if that works. No, see, it's still only showing the
T6 image
Right, let me try again. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
0.
Perfect. Right. So, Telegram DAO. So Telegram. Telegram. Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash is Ethereum's leading privacy protocol. It is a very serious protocol, and you know that because the creator of the protocol has since been put in prison for aiding some people in washing money, allegedly. All right. I don't believe he's been convicted yet. I believe it's just allegedly. I believe it's the Americans that are after him, and I believe they're after him because it works. So this is the privacy protocol. The way it works is you put your Ethereum in, or I believe you can put wrapped BTC in as well, and it mixes it all up, and then it sends you some crypto back. So it is privacy via obfuscation, but it works so well that it was worth the Americans chasing somebody around the world and arresting them. I wonder if we're still live, if I'm still live on Instagram. Shouldn't be live on his Instagram without him being here.
I'm back.
Let's see. You're back again.
Yeah, apologies.
How hacked off are you? All right, so I've moved on to another topic.
Catch me up on where we were, where you finished.
Right, I've moved on to another topic. We're now discussing Tornado Cash and the advancements that the DAO has made. So with Tornado Cash, the actual lead developer of this particular project has already been arrested. I think he got arrested in the Netherlands for allegedly helping somebody to wash money. And since then, the project has been officially made legal in America after, or maybe just before Trump came in. And then since Trump came in, it's they've said we're not going to chase all of the people that we were currently chasing. However, the project itself has now been taken over by some other anonymous people, but not a group of anonymous people. Just individuals are now coming into the DAO and resurrecting it because it does have DAO-like qualities underneath.
Okay.
And interestingly, what I saw recently was that they have a new website being created. for Tornado Cash. I guess they call it a Tornado Cash Classic. But there isn't a link for the actual website as yet. But
the interested ladies and gentlemen watching what Tornado Cash is.
Yeah, already done that. Whilst you weren't here, I gave a pretty in-depth technical explanation. I'll go over it for you actually, in case you're not aware. It's basically you put in Ethereum, or you put in, I think you could put in wrapped BTC as well. Tornado Cash takes it in and it jumbles it up with everybody else's, so it's got loads of other people's wrapped BTC or Ethereum, and then it gives you a receipt for you to go and take back your Ethereum at any time. So you end up with this receipt. You take the receipt, you go back to Tornado Cash and you say, right, here's my receipt number, blah blah blah. Tornado Cash says, oh yes, that entitles you to 1 Ethereum, and then you can extract your 1 Ethereum.
Just Bitcoin and ETH they do that with, or is that others as well?
I believe the limiting factor is the anonymity pool. So that's the limiting factor. So I believe you can do it with absolutely any token. It's just a question of having a set of tokens there that are in the pool and then putting in. And the more tokens you've got in the pool, the more anonymous the people putting in and retrieving. Because obviously if you've only got like 10 tokens in the pool and one person comes in, you know, there's kind of like a 1 in 10 chance that you collected your person, or that you've collected that person's funds. So it's I think it's only limited by the pools. It's totally open source completely. So even if it's not on the iteration of Tornado Cash that you are using, it's quite easy to convert it and run it for your own meme coin or for your own tokens, utility coin, if you wanted to do that. It would mean, obviously, like involving either market makers or someone like that who's going to help you to have a nice anonymity set. But the interesting part is that the Americans have gone full force to try to shut this down. But regardless of that, it's come back to life. And people are, without any real centralized organization, people are keeping this alive and rebuilding it. So they're rebuilding the website. They're going to have to rebuild the socials. They're going to have to go to exchanges and get listed there. They're going to have to go through all of these things as a decentralized group. And hopefully they do that, and they do it soon. So that is Tornado Cash. But now that we've got you back, hopefully, we will get back to our
shit. I apologize. It's the jungle. Yeah, jungle Wi-Fi isn't playing ball today.
That's fine. That's fine. When we grow up, we'll all have a little Starlink, maybe attached to our watch, or and that can put in our pocket, and we'll just communicate directly with the satellites. It won't matter where in the world we are. We'll be fine.
If you hear some weird noises in the background as well, it's probably frogs or geckos or birds or some sort of animal.
All right, stop showing off. If I hear any weird noises, if you hear any weird noise in the background of mine, it's probably burglars or everywhere we're blessed with in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Right, so back to topic. Topic 1 obviously was that the Bulls are back in town. What are you feeling at the minute? Do you reckon the Bulls are actually back in town, or is this momentary hopium that is being dragged into our hearts, and then we will then get dumped on?
I think the Bulls are back in town. If we look at CoinGecko, and we look at the top gainers, the projects that are coming back, they are the projects that we were anticipating would make the first moves, namely the memes and the recovery of sectors like AI. Those are making the first moves. We were expecting that. I think what's happening now to a lot of people is that we're becoming a little bit too short-term focused. So everybody's thinking, oh, what about this week? What about next week? What about the week after? Crypto never moves in a straight line. I believe the bottom is in. And if the bottom is in, then we are heading higher. We will not head higher like that. We will head higher like that. And this is just like over the last 2 days, one of those downs, and then we continue to go up. I think it's kind of a good time. There are far more positive news snippets than there are negative news snippets. I think the world overall is in a slightly more safe place. The prospects of real, I guess, life-changing conflicts are quite low at the moment. We're kind of, although we're in a bit of a precarious place with money supply, etc., etc., we kind of know where we are. We know what the options are. We kind of know either A, B, or C will happen. So the uncertainty is not there, even though it's a little bit precarious. So for me, I think it is time to be bullish, although caveat being I'm always bullish. So
Yeah.
I'll take that. What about you? How are you feeling about the current state of the market?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Although I think in the shorter term, so for the next 1 to 2 weeks, we could be in for a drop back. So I won't try and share my screen just because obviously the connection. But from a technical standpoint, from the Bitcoin breakout that we had, what was it, probably a couple of weeks ago, that we actually had that little breakout on Bitcoin. We have come up and reached my target, which was around 98 96. I guess no, it was 98 to 100k. I had a little resistance box, that 98 to 100k mark. We hit a high of 97.5, and I think we're due a little pullback. How low do we go? I don't know, but I am targeting around that 94 to 88k area. So I think in the shorter term, we could be due for a pullback, but I do think the local bottom is in. And I think we probably do head higher from here. I was watching a podcast on the way out here, actually, that I downloaded off of X. I can't remember who it was now. I'd have to see if I can find the link and stick it in the description. But they were talking about that we are now in a positive window over the coming 2 to 4 months of positive news. So a positive news window that we're in. Obviously, positive news will play into the market's hand, just as it does going down. And also a quote to remember from Benjamin Cohen, as he always mentions, is that markets don't need an excuse to go up. They need an excuse to go down. So if we have a muted negative news feed, I believe there's only one way we go, and that is to the upside for the coming months, until we probably get some sort of summer pullback at some point.
What are the top 3 projects or tokens that you're expecting to lead the charge as we, I guess?
Well, I think from the bounce, I think it's pretty sure that the 2 key areas of interest still remain memes and AI. I mean, some AI coins like Gain has seen a near enough 400% bounce from the lows. It went down to about 1 cent, hit a high of around 6.4. So that's up 537% from peak, currently up 330%. AI16Z, ARC, stuff like that's well over 100%. AIXBT, again, has seen some decent moves as well from the lows. You're looking at approximately 230%. And then again, memes. You've seen a lot of the memes, even Chill Guy, which was one on Sol that got absolutely slaughtered, has from the lows come up approximately, where is it, 150%. So I still think, and Turbo as well was probably about 250% up off the lows. I think the narrative still remains AI and meme coins until this cycle is done. We are not done yet. I think those ones that have showed us their bottom, IO Virtuals has been up over 150% as well, that they will remain the leaders. I mean, Tau was a great bounce and buy as well. I believe Tau bottomed, let me just have a look. Yeah, Tau bottomed at around about $170, now sitting at 360. So that's 105% move. So I don't think we are. I think what's led us up will continue to lead us up and would be positive.
Do you think there's any things we need to worry about if the narrative does change, if we don't get this blow off top, if we don't get this massive rally that we're all expecting in the second half of the year, what do you think the precursors for that will be? What do you think the signs for that will be? What are the dangers, the danger markings that we should be looking out for?
I think obviously, as always, we've got possible negative news sentiment. That's always a possibility. I think also if there's anything big regarding, negative news really regarding crypto regulations. As we know, we've been in Trump's regime for coming up to just over 6 months now. If any of this so-called crypto stuff that's meant to be going through doesn't, I think that could be a big thing. Then again, there's always the geopolitical risk that we could have as well. But really, it's all around news. As I said earlier, markets don't need an excuse to go up because the amount of people that are now probably got Bitcoin in their 401ks, S&Ps in the 401ks, it just pushes markets generally higher. So I don't think we will be having anything too negative. I mean, we've got a lot of positive liquidity stuff out at the minute. China M2 is all-time highs. US M2 is now all-time highs. EU M2 is all-time highs. Global liquidity on its own is at all-time highs. So other than negative news sentiment, there's not really much that I see. Obviously, if we have another maybe large hack, it could put a downer on the markets, but I don't expect them, and they kind of are to me black swan events, if that makes sense, because no one knows or can plan for them. So I don't know. What do you feel? Is there anything else other than negative news or sentiment that you feel could push us down?
I think we've only got really maybe two more
characters. We've only got two real characters that I worry about within the space that could change momentum. I think one of them is USDT, and whether or not that is a stable coin. And I think the other one is MicroStrategy, as I think that has now become the token or the standard bearer for people who are not into crypto but into crypto. So a lot of the tech guys, he's plunged into darkness. A lot of the tech
I think we just had a power outage, so if the Wi-Fi dongle dies, that's me gone.
Okay. We'll have to shorten up and come back later for
we may have to just call this one short and be the CryptoSI Crypto Waffle today.
Well, what I'll do if you do go is I'll do the predictions on my Todd and the wrap up from last one. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, what I was saying is MicroStrategy. So what I do worry about with them is that everybody feels like they are the people who we have to look to show us whether or not Bitcoin is still alive. And I think a lot of people will be thinking that way. And if we do get a bit of a turn in the Bitcoin price and they find that they're a bit too close to the getting wiped out line, things could start to get quite ugly quite quickly. They've suddenly become quite a centralizing entity within Bitcoin, especially, but within crypto on the whole. So those are the only two things that I kind of worry about. Away from that, more positive news that I would like to see is more countries having Bitcoin reserves or having their reserves in Bitcoin. I think that's important. I think once countries start to hold Bitcoin, maybe they'll consider spending Bitcoin. And obviously, for them to spend Bitcoin, somebody else has to accept Bitcoin, which means there'll be more people ready to receive Bitcoin. I think those things will make Bitcoin's usage go up and value go up and drag everybody else with them. So those are the two kind of things that I'm actually looking to watch. Shall we, whilst we can, quickly touch on AI and then do our gone? He's gone. All right. So I'm not going to touch on AI. We won't touch on the AI projects that we like. That'll be something you'll have to wait for next week. What I will do though, is I will go over our last week's predictions and I will do next week's predictions on my own. But what I will do, instead of us having both, I will do the bull case and the bear case for each. So for each asset, I will do what I think if Bitcoin goes up and what I think if Bitcoin goes down, just to highlight that it really just depends on what Bitcoin does as to what everything else does. So if ever you're in a project's social layer and someone comes in and says to the devs, oh, why is the price going down, da, 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 and Bitcoin's price is going down, that's the answer. So let's get into it. What I'm going to do is share this window. We didn't get to discuss token 2049. We will do that next week. Not sure there was much really to discuss, to be fair. So last week's predictions. Let's get started. So both me and the Financial Navigator predicted a 98 and 99k Bitcoin. So if we draw that back to the last 7 days, we can see that we hit a high of 97.7. I think we hit higher on certain platforms. Let me see. Where can I go and have a look? Let's check Binance. So we'll look on Binance and see what Binance has done over the last 7 days. This is pretty much the last 7 days. And the high well, according to no, that's January. I've gone crazy. That's much more than 7 days. Well, this is the last 7 days. Binance is saying we touched 98, just over 98. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that to both of us. I went for 98. I went for 99, sorry. And Financial Navigator went for 98. But we've both got that right. Under the context of where we were. The next one that we went for was SUI. Now, I don't really remember how to use this Binance thing. I'll tell you how I can do it. I'll go here. We'll do it this way. Go SUI. SUI has been doing really well. I went for a $4 SUI. We're typically going overboard as I do. However, we did get to $3.81 and we then dropped as low as $3.18. Currently on our way back, but $3.81. Financial Navigator went for $3.20. So it looks like he got it. He got it yesterday. So he did touch his level yesterday, and 380 is not quite close enough to $4 for me to have got it. So I'll give one to Financial Navigator and I will give me an X. We didn't quite reach my target. The next one is SPX. Now, interestingly, with SUI, it was one of those ones which we said where if it moves in both directions, it could touch both of our targets in the space of 1 week. Just highlights the volatility within crypto. Also highlights that if you have a target, stick to it, because you might just kiss your target and then head back down. Never change your targets. If you've got a target, stick to it. SPX has really had quite a bad week, in fact, over the last 7 days. SPX has, I was saying 80, nowhere near. Financial Navigator was saying 75. The thesis behind this, we were both wrong, for the record. Thesis behind this being that we expect SPX to be the leading meme project when we do see this blow off top part of the cycle. Previously it was Doge. We are expecting it to be something different this time. SPX is what we're expecting it to be. It could well be something like WIF because it's on all of the exchanges, or it could be Doge again because everybody knows it's Doge. But if we are about to go into the blow off top, it's not going to start next week because we have not seen this massive rally in memes that we're expecting to see before. Well, we could be wrong, but we never are. So we both got that one wrong. Next one we took was Monero. Monero has been all over my timeline this week as privacy coins, for whatever reason, start to gather mind share. I am expecting this to be a sector with the possibility to really gain some interest from people as the narrative shifts, particularly in the United States, towards a more anti-establishment tone. They do have an anti-establishment right now. Their president is not even really a politician. He's not really a establishment guy, and he is in charge, and everybody is behind this anti-establishment kind of movement. So as privacy coins start to take precedent and the narrative around the world shifts more into speaking about things like censorship, I think privacy coins may do well. On that note, we had said we were expecting Monero to go to 240. Both of us had said 240. It did go down to 252. So it did correct somewhat. Monero had been on a real tear, but the tear was because somebody was using it to launder their hacked funds. That has gone down to 250. Didn't quite see a 240 that we asked for, and it then went to recover, went back as high as 290, and now sitting back around where it started in 280. I want to give us that. Interestingly here, also, something else to look at is these are the volumes. So the volumes were happening. People were making a trade based on where they thought the project was going, because it had hit the limelights, because it had hit those highs. So a lot of people started to trade it. It then went down to here, and then people eased off the trading and the price started to move back up. What that generally tells you is that without high volumes, this project will be slowly moving upwards. It's not definitive, but it's another indicator. It's one of the indicators I like to look at. So this low coinciding with the low of the volume is everyone saying basically we all expect it to go down. When it stops going down, people stop trading it, and then the interest in it is pretty much over. We got the direction right. We were very close with the amount. I think we might have both been a bit overzealous, and it has cost us, but I'm going to give us both a tick there. We both said 240, and it headed down from 280 odd down to 250. So I think that's close enough. We've got the direction right. Plus, we've got that right whilst Bitcoin is moving in the other direction. So Bitcoin did move up, as we said it would, and Monero moved down, which is very rare. So we were very right with that. We couldn't short it, otherwise we would have. In our $100 to $100,000 challenge, we would have shorted. We couldn't, purely because Monero is not on Hyperliquid. Monero is not on very many things. On to the final project that we looked at last week and predicted. We predicted Xano. Now, Xano is another privacy project. We predicted $12 and $13. We were down at around 10 when we started. We went up past 11.50, came back, and we kissed $12. Financial Navigator will be rolling in his hammock right now because he's got that one spot on. I've gone with $13 purely because I'm always permeable. And once again, it has cost me. But again, we got the direction right. Quite easy. Xano is a definitely underrated project, so expect big moves from this one. If the narrative does go towards privacy, I would expect a 10x from here. If privacy becomes a narrative, I would expect a 10x from here. Even from here, bearing in mind we first discussed this when it was at $3. So it's a very, very good project. Fundamentally it's good. The charts have got to be good. As far as its value is concerned, the market cap is still tiny. The trading volume, unfortunately, is embarrassingly small, but that is probably because it's not on very good markets. As you can see here, it's not on any major exchanges yet. If we look at this by volume, the majority of the volume that I would trust is coming from non-KYC. No, I wouldn't trust that. $1. Is coming from CoinEx. which is not a massive exchange. So there is that. There's quite a discrepancy in the prices there, but then yeah, when it's $1, this is interesting because apparently 5% of the volume, but the 2% depth is $1. This must not be coming through, correct? I trust KYC not to be liars. Really good exchange, by the way, both of these two. You don't have to have KFC to use either of them. So those are our predictions. So what I'm going to do now is next week's predictions, and we will do BTC, we will do Ethereum, we will do we'll do Doge. We've got to keep an eye on these projects. We did say AI is back, so let's do an AI. We'll do AI 16Z, and let's do one more AI. Should we do Fartcoin? I think a lot of people like Fartcoin, don't they? A lot of people like Fartcoin. Let's do Fartcoin, because I can immediately see what my prediction will be. That's easy. Okay, so let's start with BTC, and for Bitcoin, I will go with I'll go with what I went with last week, 99k. I think we're going to keep kissing that 100 until we blow through it. I don't think we're going to go back into the mid 80s. We might kiss 88 at the lowest, but we won't go back into the 80s severely. So for my bull case, I will say 99. And for my bear case, I will say 89. So let's imagine that this week, Financial Navigator is being the bear, and he's like, I think it'll be 89. Let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum, I'll whack it onto 3 months. Just gives you an idea of where the levels are, so you know that the levels are around here is a level, around here is a level, around here is a level, obviously up here is a level. It just shows you kind of where the resistance and support levels are. I wouldn't expect us to move up to a level that we got 3 months ago, but if we do move up, what I would say would be 2k, and if we do move down, what I would say would be 15. So that's what I'm going to do. 2k for my bull case, 1500 for my bear case. So I've gone with 2k. Financial Navigator has gone with 1500. He is the bear this time around. Next up, Doge. Doge is still the godfather of memes. The meme that is not a meme. The meme that is no longer a meme. To the upside is 20 cents is not enough. That's over 3 months. Doge has been like a stable coin recently. To the upside, I've got to say 25. Although that would be a real rip if we did go that high. But eventually it's going to have to break out. This trading volume is not where it needs to be. Okay, so I'll say 25 cents, bull case. Bear case, we go down to 15, 12. But as you can see from here, what we really want, if we are going to play this in our, which we wouldn't, again, which we wouldn't this week, is know that this particular asset is being quite stable at the minute. So don't expect no big shifts. So don't set your take profits or your stop losses too wide, because this asset at the moment is not that volatile. There are a lot of people betting in each direction on this asset. Finally, AI16Z, which is now known as Eliza OS, had a decent day, up 7.5% over the last 3 months. For the next week, do we see it going back to 3, all the way up to 4 even? That would be a really big jump. I'm going to say 32 for the bull case, 32 cents for the bull case. And for the bear case, I'll say 20 cents for the bear case. Finally, Fartcoin. This is one project that has missed me, even though it's done really well, capturing everybody else's mindshare. I've missed it completely. Bull case has got to be 130 for me. It's gonna have to be overboard. Bear case is gonna have to be 87. So bull case is $1.30. Bear case is 87 cents. So that is mine and Financial Navigator's predictions. I can do his because I know him well enough. Now, what we normally do is we normally go to Hyperliquid and we place our trades. This week we will not because obviously he's not here. So we don't get to. But what I will do is I'll go over what happened in last week's trades. Well, it looks like we might have got tapped out on both of them. Yes, we did. Unfortunately, we got tapped out on both of them. So we got tapped out on SPX pretty early, back on the 30th. And it was only yesterday that we got tapped out on SUI. SUI was looking good for a little while. But I think our take profits were kind of tight. I think our take profits were a bit too tight. We would have survived if we'd have let them run. We would have touched those lower bounds and we would have recovered. We were looking for we opened at 350, we closed at 320. I believe we were looking, it doesn't show what we was looking for because it won't be in the trade, because it wasn't a trade, it was an order. So it'll be in the order history. Where's our take profit? Price above 4, was looking for $4. How high did we get on SUI? Let's, not you. Oh. How high did we get on SUI? We got up to 381. So we weren't that far off, but we swung down and we swung down too low and we got tapped out. So this week we have ended up getting tapped out on both. So it is massive losses across the board for the Crypto Waffle team. We lost $11 on SPX and we lost $10 on SUI. It was difficult because we did know we was long in after a week of up, and we did say that during the time. Should have shorted. In hindsight, we would have touched both. But we are expecting to move into a period of prolonged longs. It's just a question of getting it right. What my ideas would be this week, I would long. I'm not going to, so I don't want to do this in Financial Navigator's absence. But I would go long this week as I feel we're having a sideways week. So I would go long this week, and I would have tight take profits and tighter take profits, slightly wider stop losses, because I don't think we're going down further this week. Famous last words. I believe that's it. I believe I can wrap up now. Unfortunately, we didn't get the full Crypto Waffle experience. It's only me. Please do like and subscribe and all that good stuff. One more thing I will show you all before I go is the Crypto Waffle website, where finance meets crypto. Remember, you can view the previous episodes here, along with finding myself and Financial Navigator's socials, where you should follow us on there, and recent episodes, and finally our Telegram community. Come and join the Telegram community. There is things in there that we will share that we don't get a chance to speak on during the Crypto Waffle show. For example, you wouldn't have got a chance to hear me speak about the Tornado Cash, which is one project that I am pretty bullish on, almost very bullish on, which is currently at $8 over its lifespan. It has been as high as $400. Will it ever get back to all-time highs? Yes, possibly. If it does, you know, everybody's quids in. Currently, the market cap is only $32 million, and the trading volume was 1.5. It's getting there. It's ramping up. All right, it's something that we really need to pay attention to, and it's not on any dexes as yet. It's not on any centralized exchanges as of yet, apart from CoinEx. CoinEx are leading the charge with their tiny, thin volumes. Uniswap V3 is behind, but you imagine what happens when this starts to get listed in places like Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, Robinhood. You imagine what happens when this starts to get listed in those places. If indeed it does, it is the original Ethereum privacy project. It is the OG. If Vitalik starts talking about privacy, this is where everybody runs to. The trading volumes are so thin, the liquidity is so thin. If this starts to move, you can see, to move it 2% across the board, you're talking about 5 figures, like 10, 20 grand in, and you're moving the price. So, well, yeah. So that's why this one's a big one for me. And if you're in the Telegram, you would see me rabbit on about it and say exactly why. I may even produce a video about it, and I'll put the video in there. That's how it works. And I'll call it a wrap there. I've been CryptoSI. Unfortunately, there has been no financial navigator. Well, there has been some, but we haven't got our fix. But we haven't missed an episode all year, and that remains the case. Even when one of us has to fly solo, we get the job done. Next week, I believe he will still be in Bali. I think he said 2 weeks, didn't he? And he's only been there 1 day. So next week, I believe he'll still be in Bali. So we may have these problems again. Hopefully, he would have bribed the locals to let him use their Starlink. I've been CryptoSI. This has been Crypto Waffle. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And hit the bell icon